Well, look at this goodie. This happens to be a videotape player and recorder. It's dead. Got hit by lightning. Oh yeah, it was a mother-in-law's house, and a terrible lightning storm came in there, and the lightning came in and cooked the computer memory part of it. That's good news, because that means there's other things that are in there. Now, sometimes you can take a piece of equipment to a repair shop, and they call it a card, and see, all you see is this front end, that piece there, and then they pull it out, like that. And that's a card. And on the card are all kinds of things that have no use to you whatsoever, unless you're into really computers. This, by the way, is the main memory unit from a computer. In other words, this is like the company called Intel. You heard the commercials, you know? There is the memory, and there is all kinds of things, programs and everything else. And yeah, it can be gotten out of there. There are ways to do that. But the point is, they just pull out a card. And here's another card they can pull out. In fact, you can see where the card is plugged in. Does that look familiar to you? You ever seen the back of a computer? Where you have the different ports? See? You got all these little things like that, see? Nothing here you can use at all. Here's another card. I'll just show you. Oh, these are cute. See these guys right here? Those are rechargeable batteries. Have you noticed how your tape recorder always has the time and the date on it? Well, it could do it by various ways. And some things, when they turn off or you unplug them, they keep the date running. Those little rechargeable batteries keep everything going fine. And then, well, look at this card here. Isn't that a beauty? Look at that. This came from a photocopy machine. Now, there's nothing on here either. You know what this looks like to me? It looks like a city. See the warehouses and see all the cars in the parking lot? It's kind of cute. This is like a major city here. All right, so these cards are fun to look at if you know what you're looking at, name the parts. So you can see how valuable they are. See? Not being nice. Oh, forgot one. Forgot to say something. Just drop it on the floor. Let's go back to this one. See the little window? That's a window. It's supposed to be covered with tape. And this comes out. Oh, it's okay. Don't have to follow it. See? It comes out. It's got little legs on it. See? It's like a little caterpillar. Stay right there. Here's one with the window covered. And here is one, looks like dominoes. And here's one with the window again. See it? When you see these with a little plastic label on it, or metal, paper, whatever, aluminum foil, if you peel it off, it's the memory. Let me peel it off. Oh, you're not supposed to do this. See the window? I have just erased the memory. That's right. By peeling this off, you erase all the memory. And of course, then they have to reprogram it, which in this case is not important because this whole card is no value. So what you do is these can pull out of here, and you can use them for souvenirs. Now let me show you some things that have changed over the years. Once upon a time, everything was run with tubes. Different kind of TV tubes and picture tubes, and these get real hot. In fact, they even glow, and that's what's really neat about them when they glow, because if they didn't glow, you knew that's the time to take them out. And by the way, some electronics, they're actually coming back with tubes again. We're getting good quality and sound reproduction from tubes. Otherwise, they're just not as good as they used to be. Now, these tubes have been replaced with something like this. Same thing. Remember I told you tubes get hot. These also get hot. Power transistors, whatever you want to call them, you know. These things get so hot that that's what this metal is. Let me see if I can hear that. See, that's metal. It has to be metal because you see, these generate so much heat. The heat is passed to these areas, and this is called a sink. Not a kitchen sink. It's a heat sink. It absorbs all the heat and gets it out. Certain tape recorders, you know, you feel them, they're kind of hot in certain places. Well, you have that. But now it's been replaced again. Look at this one. That's it. So you can say we've gone from power tube to power transistor with a heat sink, because power means it gets kind of hot. And here we are with this little transistor. By the way, all transistors have 3 legs. See it? Okay. Now, let's get into this thing. The question is, how do you open these up? There's all kinds of ways of opening them. May I suggest you do not open these at all unless you have a parent with you. I will give you permission, because just because it's broke don't mean that you can take it apart. I mean, you're talking about a lot of money here, but there's some neat things in here that we can use. Not those computer cards and all that. Oh, look at it. I mean, that just makes my mouth water when I know what's in here I can use. This plugs into the wall. Remember I said when you find things that plug in the wall, you're going to be in trouble, because that means this thing uses a lot of electricity. But what is inside here can be used with batteries. And gee, what do we got? This right here, this is called a transformer. A transformer is something that slows down the flow of electricity or speeds it up. These are wires. See the wires here? These are called ribbon cables. They take this and put it in here. And every time you see that, they do unplug. I haven't tried it on this one yet. I just got this not too long ago. So I haven't even taken it apart yet. I wanted to save it for show and tell. All right, now let's lift this thing up and let's take a look at the other side. I've already taken this off. This is the bottom where you would find most of the goodies. Okay? In the top, don't try to find and look for too much. You've got to get into the bottom of these machines. Now, the first thing you want to look for is rubber bands. See these rubber bands here? Yeah. Now, those rubber bands run the tape recorder, you know, forward and reverse, and for just play. Okay? It's simple as that. Walk over here with me. Right here. If you see something that's a cylinder, sort of round in shape, maybe, see, like that, or like that, or it has a place, see, see, it's a pulley, see it? That is a motor. See the pulleys in here? Now, if those pulleys are attached to anything solid, piece of metal, then you've got a motor. See, we got a motor here that's running these gears. Those motors are high-class motors. These really hum. On the last program, when I made that little motor make the noise, that motor was El Cheapo. These are so quiet they wouldn't even pick it up on a microphone. They're really awesome microphones. So you can save the pulleys. If you have an erector set or Lego and all that fancy stuff, you know, you can get all this stuff out. You just take a screwdriver. Oh, there is one little secret. A lot of kids don't realize it. But you know what they do? They put glue on every one of these screws. Yeah. So when you turn it, you say, oh, I can't get it loose. You may not. Your dad may have to get it loose for you. But they are glued on just to keep kids out of it. No, it's to keep the stuff together. All right. So we have the motor. And you have pulleys. Keep rubber bands too, because you need it for your own construction and toy. You can't see it too well here, but there is a gear sitting in there. Now, after, let's say you take the motor out. Say, for example, you take that motor out. Then